Nice, nice. Streaming to all the things. And there you have it, Sam. Everything's getting cold. The leaves are falling right
Yeah.
now all around my place. I spent all day working on just buttoning up the house. You think you think adventurers have to do that?
You think adventurers are out there raking leaves for their towns and stuff?
Any real hero is going to rake leaves so grandma don't have to.
Look, man, I could see it. Why wouldn't the local townspeople gather the strong adventurers to help them clean up the cold and wet leaves and
Maybe.
it's not always about hunting monsters and killing goblins.
I don't know. It is that hunting season. Rangers beware. Wear your orange, because everybody knows that orcs in the woods can't see orange.
Yeah. I don't know if you've done an episode on orcs yet, but it is true. The color spectrum is all.
Wait, is that true?
I don't know. You have to find out on our orc episode.
I'm getting gaslit by my own joke. Let's start the show. Welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you monsters, news, and homebrews. Nailed it. I am your host, Orion.
And I'm your Sam. Welcome back to another episode this week. Hope you guys had a sick Halloween. Welcome to our first episode in November.
It is. We missed last week. It's a crying shame, but everyone had holiday plans. I got kids. You got like a girlfriend going out of state to see, like a big stuff. But enough about us. We have some guests with us today. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Jeff. I'm our head of product for all the RPGs, and I've been playing tabletop games for about 5 years and RPGs pretty much ever since I could hold a Sega Genesis controller. That dated me a little bit, but there you have it.
And I'm Wade. I'm head of marketing at all the RPGs. I'm fairly new to the tabletop RPG world. Got introduced with Adventure Zone about 2018 and then started playing height of the pandemic in 2020. Lucky enough to get involved with the community through Jeff. So, yeah.
Nice. I like that, like, you both have your business roles, but you also okay, to know what we're talking about, we're going to actually play some games. Watsy could take notes, Watsy. These guys are coming for your jobs.
First off, we're volunteers, so we're not getting paid anything. So, professionals, I don't know about that.
Just like the people at Watsy.
Professionally unpaid?
Yeah.
That's how they fix the profit margins.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
We're just helping balancing out the CEO salaries, C-level salaries. We get zero, another guy gets a couple million, average.
That is how averages work. For every zero, there's a million, and next thing you know, the average person's making $500,000.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody's got to make the million.
It's math.
Oh man.
So tell us a little bit more about what you guys do.
So our site obviously is called all the RPGs that we're working on. We have planned 3 kind of pillars, if you will, of our site. The first one being matchmaking. So this is to help you connect on pretty much any RPG, hence the name All the RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
And then either in person, online, and ways to find people on specific games, or via locale, or even if it's, hey, I just want to play on like Tailspire. I don't care what game. You can find games that way. The next kind of pillar is a character creation. We're trying to build technologies that we can kind of do character creation for everything besides D&D. Not that we don't love D&D, but we're trying to make it so some of the indie homebrew games, that don't necessarily have the budget that D&D has, but potentially are just as fun, if not more fun than D&D, or not even more fun, but more for certain people's play styles. So, and then the third thing that we're planning to do is e-commerce. And frankly, we want to do e-commerce because what DMs Guild charges content creators for their fees is just ridiculous. And so we're trying to make a cheap alternative for that.
More affordable.
More affordable. Yeah, that's why he's in marketing and I'm not.
We do like that affordability. I mean, hell, if the whatever you put together only shaves like a single digit percentage off the top, I would imagine that would be many times better for the people that are trying to get their games out there than the alternative.
Absolutely. I mean, because that's, like Wade was kind of saying that our site's still in being worked on. The matchmaking will be the first thing that comes out. We're planning for it to come out here in December. So next month. We're getting real close of starting to put people on it. It's looking real good. But realistically, the reason why, and there's our other founder, his name is Sean, and he couldn't be here tonight. But the reason why we're actually building this is because at the end of the day, we're nerds that love playing tabletop role-playing games, and we're just trying to build the community and make it stronger.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, like we will have ways that we will charge people to make money, but like realistically, we're trying to strengthen the community first, and then then try to make it a profitable business at some point.
Yeah, I mean, our mission, and this is a loose mission statement, is to essentially just make tabletop RPGs more accessible. It's so hard to play a new one because you have to find a group that's willing to play,
willing to
meet, willing to learn, or find somebody who knows what they're doing and has played it before to kind of GM, or find, it gets really messy and really complicated to find somebody to play a completely new game, a new system. And so making that easier for everybody, including the creators, and creating this hub where everybody can go and have everything in one place, we think that can be huge and can really, really help the community and help the hobby and kind of the lifestyle grow. And ultimately, we want to improve people's lives, right?
Yeah, I think this is interesting because this is a lot of what we hope to find within like our Nerd Militia idea.
Oh, absolutely. Like you guys have some very lofty goals, to be sure, but I'm excited to see where it goes. Because who hasn't wanted like proper matchmaking for something of this scale even? Yeah. Like if you were able to reach out with the game makers like over with Tailspire or any other of these things like Roll20 even, like if you were able to get a full integration, I would imagine that there'd be more players willing to try out all these various VTTs just off of the fact that, I went into this matchmaking system. This DM is running a thing on Tailspire, but this guy is running something on Roll20. Meanwhile, this guy over here, he's doing like some other third-party thing. And I feel like all of these platforms could greatly benefit from such a system. So maybe if you find the right people to talk to, that would be massive for you guys. Absolutely massive.
100%. And I'm glad you brought that up because I actually failed to mention is part of our tool our site that we're building is we actually are building it with APIs from the ground up, meaning so that we can build these integrations like you were saying. Because
impressive.
Frankly, D&D Beyond has kind of went the other route where they've made it harder to do these integrations. Like and for me, like I build a character or I have to your point matchmaking or whatever. I just want my game to run smoothly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most important part.
Yeah. We actually are trying to bug Tailspire. I don't know if you guys have used Tailspire. I've been using it for about a year and I love it.
I haven't, but I am kind of shopping around for a new VTT for a upcoming campaign I plan on running, because it's going to be a 5th edition style One Piece game. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So real quick, before you get into that, for the people who may not know what a VTT are or is, sorry, why don't you go ahead and explain what that may be for the new people? 'Cause I know we do have some in our listeners.
This is true. A VTT is a virtual tabletop. So if you aren't able to play in person, as is the gold standard in any D&D or tabletop setting,
Right.
play with people online, link up all the maps and stuff. Pretty simple.
Right.
But naturally, there's like everybody has like their favorite. Are you a Coke or Pepsi guy?
Yeah. Well, and it gets even more complicated than that too, right? Because there are kind of the bigger names, but then there's all these smaller ones that keep popping up as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of self-starters that have been kind of putting their names out there recently, and it's very encouraging for the hobby.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I know I'm not here to talk about Telspire, but check it out because they actually have a pretty good community, and Telspire allows community content creation for free, and to download it, upload it, type of thing. So check it out. It's pretty sweet.
I'd say that's the best way to do it, because when you make things open source like that, the community will build it for you. Like, I don't think Skyrim, for as good a game as it is, would have any I don't think it would have the cult following that it does now without modding and without the community making stuff for it.
Agreed. I mean, if I can't make those guards look like Roman guards, then I'm not playing.
I'm still waiting on one specific mod. Maybe I should do it myself. Maybe I should hire someone online. But I've been wanting to just replace all the guard lines with Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, just saying the same line. Like if anyone in the audience knows Arnold Schwarzenegger and wants to, get some voice lines made up, let us know.
That's awesome.
One can dream. You committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense? Damn.
Sorry, now I'm just thinking of all these ways to make or use his lines, but somehow get it with Skyrim.
Wait a minute. I'm a total idiot. we have AI. We can AI this.
We could. We have the power.
We got technology.
I'll tell you what. When we're live with all the RPGs, then I'll have our developers looking for a mod for Skyrim for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We'll get our best guys on it. Our most unpaid of interns. All right. So you got the whole looking for people things part set up from like it's in the works, and I'm excited for that. Like I'll definitely be front and center to be checking that out once we get that going, because like as a community, damn, that is something else.
Yeah, and another piece of that is, as we're developing it, we're going to be opening up hopefully an alpha or beta here end of the year, I think, is our target. We want the community's feedback, which is why we're pushing so hard on Twitter to try to get people to understand what we're going for, and just getting the word out, so then we can have the community help us build it the way that they want it, because we know how we want it, but that's not inclusive of everybody. So we want everybody's use cases, so then it can really become that hub for everybody.
That would be amazing, because if you get enough people on there that are making everything from the ground up together, like regardless of your affiliation, whether you're an old grognark or you're one of these new people that have like a completely different methodology to playing D&D, like being able to get more and more people into such a system, like you could even have people like look up games based off of play style and preference like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it kind of goes with the other founder. He has a firm belief that if the world in general would play more TTRPGs, tabletop role-playing games, the world would be a better place.
You know,
he
yeah.
firmly believes that.
He's cooking.
And that's kind of the driving force that he has for this. And you know, when the first time he said it to me, I thought he was kind of joking, but then I realized he wasn't. And then I kind of thought about it, and I continued to think about it. I'm like, you know what? Probably would be a better place.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great way to get people together and to work with each other and like experience new things together. It changes a whole lot of things, and it really could change the world.
Humans at heart are social creatures, right? We all crave the community, and like, what's better than having your friends in a party playing out a story?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I would take it a step further and say that one of the key things that really sets D&D apart from other games is you're able to basically have experiences that you wouldn't normally be able to have. And those experiences you can learn from, because every D&D player I've ever met has been able to recount all these wonderful stories of games that they've been in as if so vividly as if they were there themselves.
Right.
And that's the power of the imagination.
And the emotions behind it, you know.
Yes.
I was running or am running a game that it's a story I created. It's in the D&D world, but it's a homebrew game, and it has the idea that Torm, the god Torm, gets corrupted. Mm-hmm. But one of the guys is a paladin of Torm, but he doesn't realize Torm is corrupted and being corrupted. He's ultimately turning undead. I mean, I'm the DM, so I can write what I want, right? And so, like, the world is like, you know, these people who normally follow Torm, they're slowly turning into like undead. He is not. One of the characters is not, played by my brother. And, you know, there's been these subtle hints along the game until there's this full-on like confrontation that he realizes that his god is not quote unquote holy anymore. Mm-hmm. And so then it was, well, do I still follow him, or do I, you know, go against what the beliefs were, what his beliefs were, or do I go with what his beliefs are? And it was interesting, like the actual anguish that my brother was going through trying to make the decision of what he should do. Like, we had to stop the game because he's like, I don't know, I gotta think about this. I gotta, you know.
I love when people get connected to your characters. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some players go into like a full-on existential crisis. They're like, "Oh, holy shit! I'm gonna be up all night thinking about this because this is important." And I love how with RPGs like this, you get to have people thinking and seeing things and experiencing things from another lens, another perspective. Right. And absolutely. I really do agree with your co-founder that if more people play D&D, the world would be a better place. Not just because of the community that it brings, which humans desperately need community. It's an intrinsic part of us.
Yeah.
And a lot of lack of community has kind of caused a lot of social decay, I would say, because people feel more alone than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Solid point. Agreed to agree.
Absolutely. Sam, what do you got for the monster this week?
Oh, yeah. So this week I thought would be, I don't know, an interesting time to bring in one of my old kind of favorites, you know, in mythologies and stuff like that.
A little classic.
So why not talk about the Sphinx, right? Those are always fun. The old riddle masters of legends and stories. I don't know. It's always fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And if you're caught up on Vox Machina, there's hints in the show. So
there is. Perfect example.
Sam is a big fan of Critical Role.
I do. Vox Machina was very good. Shout out to them. If anyone hadn't seen it, big recommend.
Well, you know, when it came to funding the creation of those episodes, they rolled a nat 20. They asked for like 700,000 for animation and got like a few million.
Yeah, bro, that shit went crazy.
But well deserved, right? With great creation and great content is going to come. You know, a cult following that is only going to grow.
Oh yeah, and think about like the future of like D&D media now.
Yeah,
love to see it.
I'd say it's a lot better than the future that Dan Harmon was dreaming up when he did Harmon Quest. Like D&D in front of a live studio audience. What were you thinking, man?
You fool!
I can't criticize too much. I myself am guilty of DMing with an audience.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, Critical Role just had their live show in London or whatever, and from what I heard about it, it went pretty crazy. So I mean,
I think what confused me in Dan Harmon's case is like each episode of when they would release a show would come out to like about 30 minutes worth of content, and like, okay, so D&D usually takes hours. Are you like setting things up over and over again, and like every 30 minutes you're swapping your guest? Like, excuse me?
That's pretty crazy.
It's like, you died. Who's next?
Or maybe they only had like the studio for like an hour at a time, so they could do like 2 guests.
Let's go.
Next guest.
Maybe it was the incentive to actually be on time for D&D. Hey, if you're not on time, you lose your seats. Well, we have other people who will play.
Got a whole audience.
$500 for a 5-minute seat.
That would explain so many things.
Actually, I'm trying this.
D&D roulette.
For those of you who don't know, Sphinx were a race of intelligent, usually immortal magical beasts. It was said that they once held a vast kingdom given to them by the gods in an effort to teach mortals the way of truth. The Sphinxes had their own methods, however, by teaching mortals to think for themselves with riddles and parables. There were 4 common subraces of the Sphinx, including the Androsphinx, the Cryosphinx, the Gynosphinx, and Hyracossphinx.
Well, you know what? What about Sphinx Talea? Because you got Androsphinx and oh wait, no, that's Yu-Gi-Oh. Never mind. I'm sorry if anyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about. You're probably from like the first gen of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
Let him cook. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Time to the duel.
So, you guys ever see the Spanish version of that show? The Spanish dub is hilarious. Es hora de juego.
Wade and I both speak Spanish, so that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Oh man! You ever seen like German SpongeBob?
No.
German SpongeBob is something else. Watching anything, watching stuff like everything from Harry Potter to The Simpsons in another language with different voice actors than the one that you're automatically thinking of constantly. It's like it's a trippy experience because like they don't even match the lip flaps half the time.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I will say, so I learned Spanish. I lived in Argentina for a couple of years. And they love The Simpsons down there, and so every once in a while I would see, an episode or whatnot, and it's like the voices are totally changed. Like it's not the same. It's so funny.
It's different, doesn't it? Like,
oh my gosh.
It's how I got through some of my Spanish classes in high school. Like my idea of studying was like, okay, cool, Spanish class today. That was neat. I'm gonna go home and watch. I'm gonna watch the Simpsons movie in Spanish now.
Yeah, I would have liked Spanish class more if I would have done that.
Yeah, why didn't they just let us watch like the soap operas?
Telemundo in the classroom.
I've learned so much.
Well, I've watched too many of those.
Oh man. Anyway, Sphinx, right?
Wait, Sam. You must know that would never work for a Korean class.
Why not?
You ever try to look at a whiteboard to learn a Korean word while crying?
Why do I cry?
Because it's all K-dramas.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. Continue.
You know anything about Greek dramas?
I know a Greek tragedy when I see one.
Yeah. I'm about to talk about what this episode. So in Greek mythology, the Sphinx was considered to be a woman. One Sphinx was only considered to.
I'm sorry.
That's-
I'm sorry.
Why did that make you laugh?
I'm sorry. I just something about the Sphinx was considered to be a woman. Okay, you're talking about a being that talks in riddles. No one can understand what it's trying to say.
You know, they were on something.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
I'm too disruptive. I'll stop.
So apparently there was only one Sphinx ever exist in the mythology, right? It was the daughter of Orthus, and either a echidna or a chimera. I guess nobody was really sure. The Sphinx was said to have the human head and the body of a lion, right? And the wings of an eagle and the tail of a serpent. So, according to the myth, she dwelt outside the city of Thebes and asked a riddle to all travelers in order to let them pass. Do you guys familiar with the Sphinx's riddle?
That specific one, no. But
there's two. And I mean, if you want, I can hit you with them right now.
Oh, these are some legendary riddles.
Look, I came prepared.
All right.
All right. So the first one. Which is the creature that has one voice, but has 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet in the afternoon, and 3 feet at night?
Ah. That's a very famous riddle. Okay. So is that where that comes from?
Yeah. Anyone who struggled to answer was eaten by the Sphinx. However, Oedipus, if you all know the story of Oedipus.
Yeah, the one with the complex.
Yeah. He managed to answer correctly. Do you guys know the answer? You want to take a guess?
I have no idea.
The answer, dear Watson, is man.
Correct.
He crawls, walks, cane.
Yeah.
Crawls on all fours as a baby, walks on 2 as an adult, needs a walking cane when they're old.
Canes are so weird though. Like I've tried to walk with one. Like how am I supposed to lean on this thing?
Exactly. Do you guys want to hear the second riddle of the Sphinx?
All right.
I feel like this one's a little easier, maybe. All right. There are 2 sisters. One gives birth to the other, who in turn gives birth to the first. Who are they?
Oh, that's an easy one.
That's all right.
I think. Sun and moon, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it sun and moon?
Yeah, I think that would count as like day and night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. So, after Oedipus correctly answered both questions, the Sphinx then killed herself, either by throwing herself off of the rock on which she rested or by devouring herself. Apparently, this seems to be, what the Greeks, have written in like their religious practices represented by the Sphinx to the new ones in the establishment of the Olympian deities represented by it.
Oh no, this guy figured out my riddles. You gotta go kill myself.
Guess I'll go die then. You got me.
The Sphinx is like the Bear Grylls of suicide. I'm stuck in the woods. Better drink my own piss.
You leave me no choice.
What's the meaning of life if people can get my riddles?
Yeah, man. If that's what you were made for, and you fail, why try it all?
that was my best material.
Life lessons from Greek mythology.
It took me a couple thousand years to make those up.
Yeah, god damn it.
I had to learn to read and write in like 3 different languages to get something current.
Yeah, imagine every language that's ever been spoken. Like the first person to ever come to you, just solves your riddles. Oh, man.
Yeah, at the
You
time it
waited
took you to think up.
10,000 years.
It's like that thing that people always say where there's no such thing as an original thought. So the Sphinx is having an original thought, but by the time someone actually shows up to test it,
Yeah.
someone else already had that thought and that got spread around.
Like, what do you mean? I've heard this riddle like 10 years ago. What?
I killed everyone who came here and that nobody left alive. How does anyone else know these riddles?
They're like, excuse me, Mr. Sphinx, you haven't left this desert in like 1,000 years. They're like, fuck.
Walks up to a Sphinx, asks the riddle. Hey Siri, what's the answer to this riddle?
Hey, Siri.
Hey, what's that?
ChatGPT.
Pull up ChatGPT real quick.
I would ask Chat to write a riddle for the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Don't worry, homie, I got you. ChatGPT, it's right here on my phone.
Give me like 2 seconds. I got it.
That's it. I'm striking.
The Sphinxes never expected Skynet when it finally came to come for their jobs.
They never saw Elon Musk putting up all those satellites coming.
If a Sphinx has a riddle and the answer is Elon Musk.
So they really get you. So I got short descriptions for each of the subraces of Sphinx here. So first up, we have the Cryosphinx, first appearing in the first edition Monster Manual. They were a ram-headed sphinx, most recently appearing in 3rd edition as a CR7 neutral large magical beast. These creatures had tawny lion bodies as large as a horse, with large wings similar to that of a falcon. Apparently, they were always male. I guess because male rams, have the big horns. When born, they lacked their distinctive horns, though, and they would develop them rapidly over the course of the first year of life, and then at an increasingly slow rate afterwards. Even though they had the head of a ram, their mouth was full of sharp carnivore teeth.
Huh.
I hate that.
Question.
Okay.
Did they have the square eyes?
Square eyes.
No,
Oh yeah, the little goat pupils.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Pupils.
Just look at this picture. Yeah, it kind of looks like it.
Okay, would it be the goat pupils or would it be like fucking Naruto eyeballs when he's got like the QB and the Toad Sage at the same time?
Well, it's the full head of like a ram. So like,
yeah, but it's like there's like some part lion in there. Could have the eye
body.
Yeah,
maybe one eye's lion, one eye's ram.
Now that's some heterochromia.
Hey,
as long as one hoof could be a goat hoof, and then 3 paws.
I do kind of like the idea that like the Cryosphinx seems to be more of like a less intelligent, more like bestial kind of creature.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like they really had magic either.
I like to imagine that the Cryosphinx has like. It doesn't even have real riddles. It's just like, hey, what's a number between 2 and 6? 5? No, the answer's 5. Fuck you. It eats them anyway.
Ask like really easy math questions. Oh, it's like how do you spell? Oh god.
No concept of a riddle. Just thinks trivia questions are riddles.
Trivial Pursuit.
Dude, I would love it if each of them had like their own.
There's the Jeopardy Sphinx.
I love it.
Cryosphinx kind of had the dragon, energy where they loved just wealth and extremely attractive like jewelry and stuff like that.
Ooh. Sam,
Apparently
what if a dragon and a sphinx that were hoarding knowledge and they ran a trivia game show?
All right, you're cooking.
See, that's a symbiotic relationship, basically. And like their whole setup is trapping poor people that go along a certain path
Yeah.
in their demented game show. And if
Yeah.
they win, they get to leave with their lives. And if they don't, the Sphinx and the dragon get to eat.
I think this could be a really good filler episode for Vox Machina.
It does kind of sound, yeah, right? Like one of the red dragons like are like, fuck this.
Like,
I like it.
it just seems like
What's
so much
also
fun.
interesting is apparently these Sphinx love to extort travelers, like extort like tolls from them. So I don't know. I mean, apparently they had remarkable memories, at least in terms of remembering their treasures. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what they did to extort people, but you know,
you find a way.
I like to imagine it's kind of what we came up with for that.
I think that'd be some
Like, I
pretty
swear to God,
solid
I'll headbutt
extortion.
you. Answer my math question. All right, next up we have the Hiriko Sphinx. These were the CR5 Chaotic Evil Large Magical Beasts, first appearing in the first edition Monster Manual. These creatures had the body of a lion with great feathery wings, but their head was that of a hawk. So they were basically like Griffin, right? So these creatures were known to be quite evil and savage, with intellects that were generally far lower than the other type of sphinxes. But they were also known to covet treasure. Hiriko sphinxes attacked creatures by clawing at them with their leonine paws and pecking with their beaks. So basic boys, just kind of.
Yeah, they don't want riddles; they want your shinies.
Yeah. Sometimes the shinies may be attached to your body. That's fine. They don't care.
Sometimes your shinies are your body.
Yeah, they're not picky. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the shiny is the armor you're wearing, and you get picked up and dropped into the sky.
That would be a shame.
It would be unfortunate.
Yeah, you polish all that armor just to become a big old target.
Yeah. But next up, we have the predominantly male Andro Sphinx, the CR17 Lawful Neutral.
Okay.
So, because the Gyno Sphinx and the Andro Sphinx are kind of the predominant ones, the actual stats and abilities for these ones, because they kind of got the special stuff. They got the special sauce. You know what I mean? So I can kind of give you a description. They kind of have the general Sphinx aesthetic. The large eagle wings, the lion bodies. They have the more masculine kind of lion faces with the manes.
Ooh, I do like a mane. Like I knew a guy in high school that had one of those where it's just like his neck beard went like really hard with the rest of his really long hair. So he just straight had this lion aesthetic.
Look, man, long hair guys stay winning, man. We never had a chance.
Well, I'm getting there, as you can see. These luscious locks are growing out.
Oh man, if only. So these boys are pretty fucking strong. So we have the strength of a 22, dexterity of a 10, constitution of a 20, intelligence of a 16, wisdom of an 18, and charisma of a 23.
Yikes.
Yeah, so these are would box a dragon almost.
Oh, right. So I think the first thing that comes to mind with that overall is we do like to give our IRL fight scores here. Like, could we take this thing in real life? And I think the big advantage that we have here is media has fed us a bunch of riddles. I've seen The Hobbit. I might be. I can counter with a riddle. Like you got a riddle. Okay, fine, but you got to answer my riddle.
Yeah, the internet has rotted my brain enough. A Sphinx will have no idea, and I will win. All right, I could spout such nonsense that they would be stumped.
Shit! I remember when we did that one gargoyle thing, and they had some riddles in your campaign, and I threw out a riddle back because I thought it'd be funny. And then afterwards, everyone's like, okay, so what's the answer? It's like sand. The answer is sand.
So, first up, we have inscrutable. The Sphinx is immune to any effect that would sense its emotions or read its thoughts, as well as any divination spells that it refuses. Wisdom insight checks made to ascertain the Sphinx's intentions or sincerity have disadvantage. Pretty standard, hard to, pry into the intentions of these boys. We have their basic attacks being counted as magical weapons, as well as them being a 12th level spellcaster, with their wisdom being their spellcasting focus. They have a pretty large array of spells. We got cantrips, Sacred Flame, Spare the Dying, Thaumaturgy. First level spells, Command, Detect Evil and Good, Detect Magic. We got Lesser Restoration, Zone of Truth at level 2. Third level, Dispel Magic and Tongues. Fourth level, Banishment and Freedom of Movement. Fifth level, Flame Strike and Greater Restoration. So, pretty decent stuff.
I'd say so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What's really interesting is I didn't know that the Andro Sphinx had this ability, but apparently they have unique roars that could do some kind of interesting effects.
I like the idea of roar attacks. Like, I should apply more of that to various creatures in my games.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, now I want to actually bring in a lion that roars.
Oh yeah,
sonic, psychic.
I always kind of tried to add in the idea of my enemies being able to call in reinforcements.
I do like that as a bonus ability. When I run things as you know, if I have a faction, I like having 3 faction specific abilities to anyone that's a part of a faction, because it's okay, you can expect these things as soon as you deal with that kind of person.
So the roar has a 3-a-day activation. The magical roar. Each time it roars before finishing a long rest, the roar is louder and the effect is different. Each creature within 500 feet of the Sphinx are able to hear the roar and must make a saving throw. So the first one, each creature that fails a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw, one creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself as on a success. So pretty standard. We got the second roar. Each creature that fails a DC 18 Wisdom save is deafened and frightened for 1 minute. A frightened creature is paralyzed and can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. In the third roar, each creature must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 44 8d10 thunder damage and is knocked prone. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and is not knocked.
Yikes.
Pretty good.
I would say so, yeah.
If it's a magical roar, would the silence spell cause it to not have its effect?
I would imagine so.
I mean, yeah, you're basically removing the verbal component of the roar.
Yeah.
Right?
In theory, yeah, I think so.
Vocal expression, for sure. It'd be nothing but the air pressure at that point, if even.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool. Getting into the Gynosphinx is the more feminine version. They are a CR11, lawful neutral. Strength, the stats are fairly similar to the Andro. They have a strength of 18, constitution of 16, wisdom of 18, dexterity of 15, intelligence of 18, and a charisma of 18. As well as them being 9th level spellcasters using intelligence.
Oh, wow. So, they could straight just oh, you answered my question. Here's a wish.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, that is kind of the case in a lot of the stories. We'll grant you a wish if you, pass through or you solve a riddle or you survive or test or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And looking at their spells, it's definitely possible. They have cantrips, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation. First level, Detect Magic, Identify, and Shield. Second level, Darkness, Locate Object, and Suggestion. Third level, Dispel Magic, Remove Curse and Tongues. Fourth level, Banishment, and greater invisibility. 5th level, legend lore.
It makes sense that they would have a lot of these kind of abilities because when you go to a Sphinx, typically a lot of DMs utilize them for, I'm going to grant these players some direction. We need to travel and talk to the Sphinx to get to the next location. Where's the bad guy? Where's this MacGuffin? Can you help us track this thing or person?
Sphinx and lore are always, harbingers of wisdom and knowledge. They're guardians of, sacred places or things that need to be protected.
And if they don't know something, they can simply find out with all of those spells.
And shit, that's the point. They don't have Sphinx protecting these areas or nothing. They are an actual threat. Like, nobody is just rolling up on us.
Yeah.
Well, they best have a book of riddles.
Yeah, you better be fucking prepared. That'd be like, yeah, we're gonna willingly go to a dragon's lair.
It's like, let's just casually walk into the beholder's area.
Yeah, like
poke one of his eyes.
I mean, like that. If you've seen Vox Machina, that Sphinx does go toe to toe with that like green dragon.
Right.
Pretty good too. Like,
I have not gotten to that part yet, but I will.
Spoiler.
Nah, that Sphinx straight looks like it can throw hands. Like, I don't doubt that for a moment.
Yeah. And then I know what they do a very good example of showing the differences between them too, like just by like personality wise.
Yeah, that really makes sense.
Yeah, that's about all I have on Sphinx today. I think they are interesting. They've always been one of my favorites. Oh, I guess 2 last things. The Gyna Sphinx also have teleport abilities and can like cast a spell is like free 3 times round or whatever. I don't know. They're crazy. Sphinx are strong.
All right. So that being said, Sam, what would you give them for an IRL fight score for you?
First of all, you want to be on a Sphinx's good side, no matter what. You want to solve that riddle just to survive. I think I'm pretty decent with the riddles. I'm kind of clever. I give, for the sake of like, I'm going in. I knew this was coming. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to run into a Sphinx today. I've been doing some crosswords or something. I don't know. I give it like a 5. Give it like 15.
Yeah, you stopped by the old folks' home, stole their crosswords out of the crossword bin.
Exactly. But like, if I gotta like for some reason fight a Sphinx, no chance.
I would have to agree with that. For obvious reasons, like there have been some pretty big monsters that I've claimed to be able to take in a fight in the past, but I think when it comes to actual combat right here, no, I ain't taking a Sphinx. But they have a intelligence of 16.
They're very smart.
I think. Well, I might be just kind of, inflating my ego here, but I think that I would have about a 15 intelligence for a intelligence score. Because, I have an approximate knowledge of many things. I think I could handle a riddle, and if I could distract this thing by throwing out a couple of my own.
Look, and they love that shit. If you can hang, you can vibe, they might just chill with you.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I noticed the dexterity was low on a Sphinx.
Yeah,
so
on the Andros.
Somehow run around it, but if that thing makes contact with that, like 23 strength, I'm just
Stay away.
So I
didn't
think
go too much into like their size.
Run away.
It's fairly large.
I can't answer the riddle. I'm booking it.
Riddle from afar.
Shout it from the doorway.
Yeah, you could do your homework, though. You could watch a couple of episodes of Batman with the Riddler.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, I got the Riddler's things memorized. If I can handle the Riddler, I can handle the Sphinx.
Seriously.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
hope you guys enjoyed that. I like Sphinx a lot.
I think my goal now should be to use a Sphinx in one of my next games.
Yeah, in my Grim Hollows game, I kind of took the idea of a Sphinx, but I made them gargoyles.
Yeah, you split it into
cool.
two aspects. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I made one of them more physical, like, but they still both had like their little magics. But like, it's pretty cool.
I'm totally going to try to use one in the next game.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. You can do so much with them. Just having, like the Hiroko Sphinx or whatever be like an enemy that they encounter on occasion.
Yeah, there's a lot that
Have
you
a
can do
cryo
there.
Sphinx block your road path, and they're like, "Hey, hold on, you guys got to pay the troll toll."
If you want to get inside, no,
You got to pay the troll toll. Danny DeVito's a treasure, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Agree to
Goes,
agree.
the world
Does he
is
play
different.
D&D?
Ooh.
Oh man, if Danny DeVito plays D,
Danny DeVito strikes me as a D&D,
I'm looking this up.
I mean, one of the first images I had the AI bot create was Danny DeVito as a wizard, and I was not disappointed.
You're a wizard, Danny.
You should have put him in the D&D movie, man.
Danny DeVito would make an excellent dwarf.
That would be so fucking funny. Oh my.
Or like a human that everyone thinks is a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
As a bard.
That's a bar.
He'd be the best bard.
Oh, no.
Like if he could just play like a washed up bard that's got like this one student that's kind of a fuck up, but like, he's teaching him anyway.
Even if there's like one scene where like the main party is in like a tavern and he's like playing, he's like kicks over tables like
Yeah, bringing that It's Always Sunny vibe to it.
yeah, you got him. Then he pulls out a gun.
Okay, you're giving me some NPC ideas now. I'm going to be running that One Piece game. There's going to be guns everywhere. Trust and believe people are going to whip out the 9 on a...
There's going to be Danny DeVito's everywhere. As far as the eye can see.
Captain Danny of the DeVito Pirates.
Oh, Jesus. What have we done?
Ship name DeVito.
Oh.
I love that. I need it.
Shout out to Danny DeVito, man.
Absolutely.
He's like fucking 80 years old, right?
Is he really?
He's old.
Gotta
now.
be getting up there.
80? No.
Let's see. Danny DeVito age.
Yes, it's important research. Right?
Very much so.
He is 78.
Oh my
God damn.
Damn, Danny, you will always be 40 in my eyes.
I know. That is so surprising.
You know, he looked 40 when he was like 20, and he still looks 40.
Yeah, forever 40.
So interesting.
It's amazing. Like, even Jack Black looks old now. Like, he's got gray hair, and I'm just like, when did that happen? It seems like yesterday he was singing Fuckle Isaac Fuckaloo in the Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Dude, I think this is a great transition into our Descriptify.
Yes. So for this week's Descriptify, I present to you the word nebulous.
AKA Danny DeVito.
I don't think you could say that Danny DeVito is a very nebulous figure, but I do feel like nebulous would be a great way to describe the spectral form of an enemy as you're kind of coming up on them. Like it's a very cloud, like very hazy, or maybe a noble is like, oh yes, he's a very nebulous fellow. Yes, nebulous. Hazy, indistinct, lacking in clear form and boundary. He has no boundaries.
That's not.
Video on my Danny's.
He was like Nebulous at the bar last week.
Nebulous would be a great name for a bard.
Oh yeah.
But he's always high or drunk.
Oh.
And only if it's like a group of bards, and their group is called the Nebuli.
He's like a smoke elemental or something.
A smoke elemental bard named Nebulous.
Dude. Oh yeah, an air genasi.
Ooh, that's real good. I love words like this. There's a lot of play there. But yeah,
there's a lot you can do with personality. You could do physically nebulous. You could very, very good.
Or even their magic abilities.
Yeah, I love when people describe their abilities like in like the form of their magic. Because I always wonder, like, does it take places like a beam? Is it like a bolt? Is it like a smoke, like a haze?
Yeah, absolutely. Like every time I cast lightning bolt, it's straight a Kamehameha wave. So it's just like, and it's just I like it for that reason alone. And if you combine Misty Step with it, you got the instant Kamehameha. So that's please.
Like I've heard people,
every day.
Like the flavor I've heard for like Eldritch Blast, have always been so fun.
My brother, his mind was blown when I told him that you could reflavor Magic Missile as spectral chickens. He's like, wait, yes. I could flavor the spell? It could be anything? You're telling me that Ryan, you're telling me that I could cast Magic Missile and send a hail of dildos at the enemy. Yes, Davin.
Yeah,
yes, you can.
Keep it in the parameters of the spell. Keep in mind it's a low-level magic bolt. But yeah, absolutely. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I got two brothers that play D&D. One he's 13 now. The other I just mentioned. And kind of circling back to what you guys were talking about earlier, I think that my younger brother Milo has learned a lot from D&D. Like before he started playing D&D with my dad, he was very bad when it came to reading and math and general problem solving stuff. But this has like elevated him to whole new levels, kind of getting him to be less antisocial, more practiced in things.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's one of the reasons I think that you guys are absolutely on the money. D&D can make the world a better place.
Agree to agree. Mm-hmm. That's I have a nephew who my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are in the Air Force, and they're in Germany, and he's interested in playing D&D but can't find anyone to play with. And he's not just walking around and asking, hey, do you want to play D&D? Because he's just not confident that way. And so like for us, my sister-in-law was like, hey, where can I find people to play D&D with them? And I was like, so because for him, he just he has a hard time making friends, but like it's more just on he's very shy, but like once you get to know him, he's awesome. But like playing like an D&D would really help him socially.
Oh, absolutely. And I find that it's really helped me socially. Like for a long time, I've been a very introverted, like I don't want to go out and talk with people, yet here we are hosting a show, talking with new people every week.
Yeah, honestly, it's done wonders for just talking with people and getting us to, kind of branch out into these different perspectives and, outlooks on this game and this community. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I agree to agree.
So is there any other, I think you mentioned it a little bit more earlier, but what are some of your other big goals for what you guys are planning on with all the RPGs?
Yeah, so we kind of touched base on a little bit, but integrations obviously is a big one for us. Like we don't want to be a VTT, but we want to be, smoothly integrated with a VTD. Like one thing that I didn't highlight super well is with our characters in the matchmaking, if you're a DM or a player and you're creating a game, it also creates a way for you to kind of host the game, if you will. So you would have like your players, you can take notes, you can add NPCs, you can share things with the players. Just if you were to running a game, and it's kind of like your online notebook / all your content in one place. And frankly, we're I think pretty much every one of us has either DM'd or played a significant amount of D&D or other TTRPGs, and we're trying to build this first for ourselves. And it was one of those that we were building for ourselves, and we're like, hey, maybe other people would like this. And we selfishly we're doing it for ourselves because I don't know if any of you guys have heard of the TTRPG called Blades in the Dark.
I have
Yes,
actually
I think so. A little bit.
Yeah, so I've read it or read like the rules, and I really want to play it, but I can never find anyone to play with me. So I'm like, I need a matchmaking service so I can play this game. And now we're building one. But
Awesome.
yeah, so I think we kind of touched on all the points, but our founder, he actually years ago made a matchmaking service for Neverwinter Nights, the old D&D on Realms game.
Yeah.
And so his matchmaking site was actually sponsored by Neverwinter Nights. Like they would like legitimately, like if they're like, oh, if you want to find matchmaking, go to this site. And so he has history with matchmaking and understands what it takes. And one thing that now that I'm talking about this, that we are doing in our site is kind of a gamification, like badges and stuff. And you get experience that, and you can review your players and review other DMs because, just so like if you're playing with a new person, you can kind of get a bit better feel of what kind of person that is, right? Because frankly, my games, I like to have people on time, very engaged, but we goof off a lot. And
right.
The role playing that we do is very goofy, right? And so some people, that's not what they like, and that's fine. And so we want to make sure that people can be like, oh, I like this game, but this DM's like this, and that's may or may not be your cup of tea, and so that's one of the things. And gamification helps. We want to use that to help people try new games, try different VTTs. Like, hey, if you go try play a game in 5 different TTRPGs, you get this badge, for example, and it's really just to help strengthen the community. I mean, I love D&D, but we're trying to also help support everyone else, that people are pushed to go explore and try new homebrew content and try new homebrew games and homebrew, maps and everything that we all love. But sometimes it's hard to connect with because you're always wanting that one person to lead it.
That makes a lot of sense to me, as well as it seems like if you offer like little benefits or like maybe like a little badge system, like if someone goes through a bunch of games and their DM can like review the players and the players can like review the DM, like you can leave feedback or like maybe like vote on these little badges or whatever to be like, okay, this DM is very role play oriented, and like if the players kind of like rate their role play, and like you could get like a whole rating system for like, okay, this DM has a 7 on his role play rating, but his combat rating's a 3. Okay, that's fine. Now, for some players, that might very well be a deal breaker, while other players like, oh, a 7 and a 3, like that's a good ratio. I'll take that. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great idea.
Well, and the other thing that I think is cool, so as I've been pushing, on Twitter and creating these relationships with people we're connecting with, like you guys, a lot of creators are like, I have a really hard time getting people to play my game. Which, if you have the ability to hop on this site and there's a new game and the creator's like, hey, I want to GM or DM a game. How awesome would that be to go GM with the creator of whatever game it is. If you go back in time with the
Oh.
code, how amazing would that be?
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would be prolific, really.
Experiences.
Like
Yeah.
it's
In-
one of those
in-
things where you absolutely, like, you wouldn't even realize that you're talking to someone great at the time. So enabling that to be more communal, I love that.
Yeah. And one thing I kind of failed to mention also is our e-commerce. One things that we have planned with it is, if you create a map, not that it's not just a PDF. Like, we are going to try to build integrations with like Roll20, Tailspire. So if you create a map, we can have it more integrated with those tools.
Mhm.
So that way,
I
if
like
someone's
that.
like, "Oh, I want to play Blades in the Dark," let me buy the content on the site. It's a lot easier to run in these other VTTs, because I'll be honest, I used Roll20 for a long time. I still use Roll20 for some of my
Mhm.
games, and
Yeah.
one of the primary reasons is because all the content is there.
Right.
I buy the maps because I don't want to take the time to load in all the maps.
Mhm.
Yeah, having those proper integrations would be game changing entirely. Like, if you could just
Yeah.
take your Roll20 stuff and be like, okay, I have the licenses and verifications, let's just put them here.
Exactly. Yep. So that's our goal and mission with the e-commerce, and just the overall play, that it could be, hey, I want to learn this new game, but it's not all this like setup and figuring out. It's a lot cleaner and smoother. And even on our matchmaking, we have the idea of like, you can tag a game as beginner friendly, meaning like,
Mhm.
hey, this is a training game. Like, I'm teaching people how to play this game. So you're a beginner, good, come learn.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's like that no pressure of like,
Right.
oh, but I'm a new player. What if everybody else has so much experience? I know I
Yeah.
hear that a lot. People worry about with well-known
Yeah.
players already.
My brother, who is nerdier than I am, he didn't play D&D for years, and I kept trying to convince him to come play a game with me, and he kept always being like, I don't know, and he was just like nervous about it. And finally, I was just like, look, everyone who's at the game, like, it's fine. And so then he comes, and now he's like, drunk on it. But
Right.
Yeah, it's very addictive. I can say that for a fact. I would also say that as far as the situation goes, I think that there's a potential that you guys are tapping into here to kind of solve, partially solve that guy problem that seems to plague the community a lot. Because if you've seen any RPG horror stories on YouTube, because those are all the rage these days, if you look into a lot of those stories, a lot of it just comes down to this player does not mesh with this group. Their play styles are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, somebody is like, the DM might want a certain kind of game, and they know how to run that kind of game, but the players, they don't want that kind of game. That just it doesn't vibe.
Or they're ignorant to like the social aspect, where maybe they could have solved that in the beginning or something.
Yeah, you just get a bunch of socially tone deaf people in a room and have them sort it out later.
Exactly. They'll all kind of murder each other.
Or maybe that could vibe. Like, if they're all socially tone deaf, they could seriously be insulting each other left and right, and no one would be the wiser, and they'd have a great time for it.
Oh man, maybe they would really find their clique.
There might be a redemption arc for that guy of every group.
One can only hope.
I just hope I'm never that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
I'm definitely that guy sometimes.
If you are that guy, leave us a review. No.
If you are a rehabilitated that guy, we would love to hear your story.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
I was kicked out of 4DM until I finally found my group on all the RPGs.
That guy's anonymous.
Look at that. We have a success story.
Oh, man. Love to hear it.
Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, we're excited about this. we're like we said, we're hoping to be live with the matchmaking part here at the end of the year. So here another month, and we're gonna start pushing for it. And first, if someone sees a game for Blades in the Dark for a GM wanted, that may or may not be mine. So
I mean, shit, we may be looking for a VTT soon, right?
Yeah.
Be coming to you.
Yeah, we really are, as it stands. And there is someone that comes to mind when it comes to what you're working with. Craig from Tabletop Talk. We had him on as a guest months ago. He knows like a little bit of. He's like a RPG guru of sorts. Like you go to this guy, he will point you in the direction of the RPG for you, no matter how obscure.
That's awesome.
I feel like that, like if you I think you should pick his brain a little bit when it comes to like finding the games for people, like maybe put together like a little survey. It's like, what do you like? And then like all these little stats and statistics for each of these games. Like, okay, I like this, and this. Oh, the quiz, beep, 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 beep. It says that this game is right for you. Whoa, cool. I took the survey and it says that I'm into Avatar: The Last Airbender. Cool.
Raid Shadow Legends. What the?
It's actually a cool idea. We've had the idea of like you can search by like, do you like more role play? Do you like more this, like battle, combat? But actually doing a form of trying to that's I'm going to steal that idea.
That's a different way to go about it.
Please do. And if you get a chance, you really should talk to Craig because like when we had him on the show, he recommended to each of us a tabletop that we had never played or heard of before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. I actually just found his podcast and slacked it to Wade for him to go find.
Perfect. Craig, if you're out there.
If you're listening right now, Craig, please respond to our Twitter message.
He's very responsive. I think I found him on Twitter initially when we got him on the show.
Nice. Good.
Very cool guy.
He's a very chill guy. Like, I think he'll be very gung-ho to hear what you guys have put together right here, because he's all about having people try new tabletops, things that they've never heard of, maybe find the one that works for them.
Awesome. Yeah, does seem like a guy we need to talk to then.
Maybe we'll call that assistant Craig, Tabletop Craig.
I could imagine he would put together a good questionnaire. Like if you just combine like a little bit of brain picking from him, little GPT with a bunch of questions, boom, you got yourself a form.
Maybe you got a stew going on.
He's cooking.
Yeah, everyone loves those little Facebook quizzes, or at least they did when Facebook started doing quizzes.
BuzzFeed quizzes. What Harry Potter?
Oh my God!
Which tabletop are you?
Oh,
are you that guy?
What Naruto character are you?
No, I think I'm going to write a blog post called "Are You That Guy?" 5 ways to determine if you're that guy.
Oh.
That might be a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part is determining if you are that guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little nervous to write it because it might point up that I'm that guy.
Well, I think that something like that would be good. Like maybe have like a rating quiz that'd be like, it gives you a percentage likelihood that you are that guy.
I like a personality test.
Yeah, people love those.
Yeah.
INFJ, you are that guy. They must have amnesia because they forgot that you're him.
Although I think that the test would be kind of flawed because a lot of that guy situations stem from not being self-aware.
Right.
True.
That's one part of our matchmaking. So we have the different ways you can join a game. So they could just be like public. You could have private that you could need a password, or it's friends only. And we also have the idea of an application game. So an application, when you send that up, you can put out your own questions that someone has to fill out the answers as they apply to join the game. kind of to some points that we've been kind of talking about, is because some DMs are looking for certain styles or and types of personalities, and so it gives them the ability, and that's both for just, again, making sure that people have fun, and you join a game and you're like, wow, I don't like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or this is for me.
One of the oldest DMs that I've played with, a longtime friend, we even had him on the show earlier this year. Josh, what he does when he DMs at the start of a campaign, he hands out this little questionnaire to all of his players, and it's literally just listing off like, okay, what kind of things are you okay with tackling or even touching in this campaign, like like sex scenes. Like, okay, are we just going to omit those completely, fade to black? What's your level of comfort here? Not even sex scenes explicitly, like maybe just like sexual content, or maybe gore. Like, where are you on gore or rape or any of these kind of subjects that are really touchy, and some people could have like a major issue with. Now, when I first heard of this, I was like, what do you mean? Like, most friend groups are generally going to be kind of like on the same wavelength, but in a lot of cases, that's just not true as well. And this is kind of like, he makes each of his players look it over and sign it. So it's like, okay, it's like a contract. Like, he can pull it up months later when someone says that they're uncomfortable with something, and he'll be like, hey, look right here. This states that you read this and you said you were okay with that kind of content.
The terms and agreement.
Yeah, like, you literally signed up for this. What do you want from me?
Right.
You can be like, hey, I'm mad that that NPC got like fucking.
He has had to confront some players about that months into a campaign. Well, in other times, it has prevented him from touching subjects that would have triggered one of his more emotional players,
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
I think it's always a plus when a DM is more considerate to those kind of things, and it shows the level of detail that they're putting into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agree
absolutely.
to agree.
Yeah.
Ryan, I think that is a good note to maybe move to some of our news stuff, right?
Well, we do have some news. And of course, it's so much fun. It's so intense. Okay, if I keep it going, we're going to get drunk on the power that comes with the news stinger. Okay, so this week in D&D TTRPG news, Dungeons & Dragons free TV shows launches later this month with Cooking, Character Deaths, and Patton Oswalt. Thanks, Dicebreaker. You buried the lead with Patton Oswalt. Like, why didn't you mention that in the first word? He's the guy, the goofy face. You see him in all the sitcoms.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know him when you see him.
He was in the King of Queens. He was in Goldberg.
Patton Oswalt. So,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Paul Blart.
He's Paul Blart.
Wait, no. I'm thinking of the other one. Sorry, they're in a lot of the same shows.
They are in a lot of the same shows. Yeah.
I bet they play D&D together in real life.
Movies. He was in Very Harold and Kumar Quit Christmas.
So was Neil Patrick Harris.
Trump movie. He was in Kim Possible. If you've seen Sorry to Bother You, it was a good movie.
I do like Kim Possible.
Reno 911. He was in Blade Trinity.
Oh, damn. Patton Oswalt's everywhere. So anyway, basically, we're talking about 2 actual play series and a cooking show. Well, this will be Phil D&D's latest attempt at a primetime television takeover. So they're going to be they're going for some primetime slots, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, after you're done with your news and your late night oatmeal because you're still watching television.
Yeah, once you get done with your late night propaganda, you want to sit down for some Patton
Yeah,
Oswalt.
I mean, whether you're watching Fox News and, thinking, self-lubricating pocket catheter, or CNN and be like, oh, wow, the world's on fire. Hell.
You say pocket catheter? What the hell?
Yes, you've never heard of Fox News' ever famous self-lubricating pocket catheter?
I can't say I have, man. I can't say I have. When is
feel
that
like I'm
coming
not
to our
gonna do
local D&D games? How much gold is a pocket catheter?
1 electrum.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no one wants it.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so yeah, they announced the launch date for this free ad-supported TV channel, bringing 3 weekly series to streaming channels starting November 13th. So that's like a week away. It's gonna see D&D
awesome.
Adventures will air a pair of actual play series, Encounter Party and Faster, Purple Worm Kill, my bad, and cooking shows Heroes Feast as its launch date. Okay, so they're going to have a couple shows, some actual play, cooking show. I mean, I like that already. That sounds interesting.
Right.
And then they're going to have the 1980s D&D. Oh, okay, that could be hit or miss depending on how much you like hearing somebody say, "Oh no, it's Tiamat."
So true.
Look, man, some people are gonna do it.
Oh, it's motherfuckers. I'm reading half. This is what you call burying the lead. Like, I get halfway through skimming this article, and celebrity guests such as Seth Green, Ski Ulrich, Sean Gunn, Mika Burton, and Patton Oswalt.
All right. So I recognize some of those names, I think.
Yeah, you ever see Robot Chicken?
Yes.
Or Family Guy, Seth Green?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, of course.
Or more prominently, if you're a Scooby-Doo person and you like the second Scooby-Doo movie from the early 2000s, like Seth Green played the bad guy.
True. You're so right.
But yeah, they're getting deep into it. They're bringing on celebrities, celebrity guests. Like, dude, I could not handle that as a DM. Like, you got to deal with celebrities and keeping people interested.
Dude, honestly, I just hope, like, I love D&D and the media, getting the love it deserves. Keep the fucking keep celebrities away from our damn keep it out of the celebrities' hands, all right?
Sam, are you saying that everything Hollywood touches turns to shit?
I would never say such a thing like that. I would never publicly admit to saying such a thing on our platform.
Well, it's certainly a good thing that you wouldn't say such heinous things. Hollywood, we love you.
Look, what did the guy say in the Planet of the Apes? Keep your hands off me, you dirty ape, whatever, Just put like that scene, but like Dungeons and Dragons over his face in Hollywood.
Sam, you just described early this year when they decided that the Hot OZ were too spicy for D&D.
Oh man, that's such a good meme. Somebody make that, please.
Someone please. Damn.
Oh man. But I did find a couple interesting news things, like the first release for this, not this year, the upcoming year, February, I believe. Keys from the Frozen Vault, I think, is supposed to be coming out, or maybe I got that wrong.
I believe I heard something like that. Yeah.
Which really got me excited is the new monster manual for 2024.
The one they've been talking about for a while now.
Yes. I am just hoping that they finally, put more than like 2 sentences or like a half paragraph. I understand spacing. There's a ton of monsters, but like you gotta, give them at least some equal quality. You know what I mean?
I don't know. In previous editions of D&D, there was multiple monster manuals for that very reason.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna, right? Or are they all? I thought they were just kind of. This is like our first like revamp. Yeah.
No, what you need if they're going to release anything for monster manuals, Sam, is back in the 90s and 80s where you had those door-to-door salesmen that would sell you a whole encyclopedia collection.
Yes. Oh my god, they came in with like the briefcase and like, and then bust that bad boy open.
Like, listen here, boy. This is all the monsters you'll ever need.
There's like 500 pages in each book. They're like, crack it open. There's like a plume of dust.
This will get my son through college.
For just 18 payments of $59.89.
Yes. That'll be something else. We will wait patiently for when that comes around.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Oh, man.
You know what, Sam? Before we head into our final segment of the show with our homebrews,
yes.
There is, we got some early access. We got a sneak preview of something this week.
Nice.
Yeah, Dungeons and Talkshows has the scoop this time. Is everybody here familiar with Tim Van Dalen?
Breaking news.
Sorry. Yeah.
I am not familiar.
Nope.
Well, on the DMs Guild, he's a big selling author. Like he's got like platinum best-selling, like some gold best-selling on some of his books. And
nice.
Him and some of the people he's working with they're starting a Kickstarter this month later on. And he gave us a little bit of a preview to see what's going on, what's cooking under the hood here. Burn Balloon's Guide to Freeborn Vale. It's a whole play setting. And here's a little bit of what we can expect looking forward into this. There's going to be a whole like a character creation setting that we'll set up first, because new domain spells. There's going to be some new subclasses and all kinds of stuff. Like Freeborn Vale is going to be a fully fleshed out play setting.
Always love that.
Yeah, they're including new backgrounds, the City Guard, Mountain Trader, Spiritlands Acolyte.
Ooh.
Now, looking at that, I didn't realize that City Guard wasn't already a thing for D&D backgrounds.
Is it not?
Apparently.
Oh, yeah, I think there's like City Watch or something like that. Maybe that's not the same thing.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
They might tackle it a little differently, actually. Moving on to that, they have a whole thing for a module adventure, so that's cool. They'll have travel encounters, new items, NPCs, monsters, maps, all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm very eager to see how the full thing turns out.
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot to dive into, so we'll talk a little bit more about it next week. But just starting out for some of the subclasses, they got the College of Aurora for Bard. So a like multi-sensory experience right there. That's pretty cool. This has a whole, like, kind of a... Freeborn Vale seems to be a very snow-swept, kind of almost, I want to say, Icelandic type setting. I could be a little wrong, but it does seem very interesting for that. Yeah, very mountainous. Like there's factions like the Four Mountain Trade Alliance, Fogsore's City Watch, the Keepers. Ooh, that sounds cool. And it has like a bunch of frosty glacial type stuff, so we'll see where a lot of that turns out.
Yeah, that'd be my first time, really seeing. I would love to experience a campaign that like really dealt with like a cold region. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that.
Yeah, I think the most prolific
sounds
one I know
interesting.
of is Icewind Dale.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna.
Or like the Realm of the Frost Queen or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually in Rhyme of the Frost Maiden right now.
Right, Frostman, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
I've heard a
But
lot of
yeah.
good things about that one. That one looks really cool.
Yeah, it's been fun so far. We're not super far into it, but yeah, it's been interesting.
They're stuck in a snowbank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the art for Freeborn Vale right now. I think y'all are going to be very pleased. It has a very classic D&D vibe to the art, so that's fun. And they got a lot of people working on this in the credits here, so I'm really eager to see how everything plays out. And when the Kickstarter starts up, we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Yes, please.
Awesome.
Shout out to them. They're doing great stuff. Can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. I'll have to talk to Tim about what he's okay with us talking about on the show.
Yes.
And moving on, we have...
Cheer Realm! Lots of fun! Excellent!
To the generic realm. Sam, would you like to start us off this week?
Sure. Okay, I picked a pretty cool weapon from the what do we call it? Bonus action on Twitter, on Instagram.
Oh
on
yeah, bonus
Patreon.
action.
Yeah, that was pretty cool stuff. I saw this and it caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh baby!" And you know what? It kind of fit the vibe of the One Piece character I'm working on. With him using like Kalishtar/cleaver type weapons. So
Yeah,
I figured, why
you're
not
going for that
talk
whole
about-
Kopesh.
Right. Why not talk about a scimitar weapon today? The Cleaver of Paranoia. This is a very rare scimitar, finesse light, requires attunement. Deals 1d6 plus 2 slashing damage, and has the Demon Forged trait. You gain a plus 2 bonus to attack rolls and make with this weapon. All right. First on the ability list, we have Watchful. While you are attuned to this weapon, you have dark vision up to 90 feet. You have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight. I mean, I don't know if you're showing the weapon right now, but as you can see, this weapon is massive, kind of twisted black steel cleaver with like just dozens or hundreds of eyes just wrapped all throughout it. Looks pretty fucking cool. And this next ability really kind of accentuates that. Eyes of the Abyss. You can use a bonus action to make a bright yellow ray shoot out from one of the many eyes of the sword at a creature you can see within 90 feet. The targeted creature has to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 17. On a failed save, they are blinded until the end of their next turn. Additionally, the next successful attack you make against them with this weapon within the next minute deals an additional 46 psychic damage. You can use this feature twice per long rest. Pretty simple weapon for the most part, but I like it a lot. I was just picturing like if my One Piece character had something like this, be nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan, can't hear you.
I muted myself. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I like it. It has like a bit of a Billy and Mandy vibe going on for it, kind of like Nurgle merged with a cleaver.
It does. Oh my god, you're so
yeah,
right.
it got the eyes all up and down with those little slits, kind of glowing all up, like even on the the pommel, all over the back of the blade. It's so intricate and like sinewy with its
Picture them all
tendrils.
like they blink too, like
that would be the most disgusting thing. Damn.
Or maybe like when you cast the ability, like maybe like a bunch of the eyes close, and when you cast it again, the rest of them close. Oh man.
Oh, have it play out like the Izanagi, like
yeah,
the eyes closed
exactly.
permanently.
Oh man, that would be really cool.
I got nerd references for days.
Yeah. Upon picking up the blade, roll a D100. That's how many remaining lifetime charges.
Well, I mean, that's still a lot, you know? It's
Yeah, that'd be really
wild.
cool. I like this a lot. I give this maybe a 10 out of 10, honestly. I think it's pretty sick. It kind of speaks. I like stuff
Yeah.
like this. And like, really cool. All right. What do you think? What do you got here for this week?
I brought in something very simple because I wanted to make a little bit of time to hear what our guests think.
Absolutely.
And I present to you, it's not that big of an item, but put it up right there. Yeah, we have the Lens Maker's glasses. Now, I guess this is the updated version because it's been worked on by some people here. Looks like a Risk of Rain 2 username.
Oh, yeah. These are Risk of Rain items.
Yeah, I thought they looked pretty cool. And more importantly, they do something that a lot of other items that you typically see in D&D don't do, and that's improving your critical rate. Now, in 5th edition, there's not much that you can really do to improve your critical, except for, like, Barbarian? The very few things out there for it. Older editions, it was easier to improve criticals.
Feats like Lucky, I think. Things like that.
Yeah, but that's like, that's not what it's intended for.
Yeah.
So these are your typical Scott Summers Cyclops kind of red ruby lenses right here.
Right, augmented reality lenses or something.
Yeah, let's just say ruby lenses. I like the sound of that. That makes them seem more valuable. But
oh yeah, what do they do?
So these red tinted glasses are imbued with a special focal technology that allows the wearer to pinpoint weak points in other creatures. While wearing the glasses, your critical hit range increases by 1 step. So from 20 to 19, or if you're already at that stage, you could go from 20 to 18, and so on and so forth. So if it can stack with other critical abilities, taking it a step further.
It's really cool because, like, as a DM, you could like figure this out. It's like as you let this creature points on its body begin to glow to you or something. Like that could be really cool.
Absolutely. It says here, additionally, you gain dark vision up to 60 feet, and you cannot determine colors in darkness, only shades of red.
That makes sense.
Bonus flavor.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I believe you were gonna say something there for a minute.
I was gonna say Matt Murdock, Daredevil sees everything in shades of red.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I like that. He's a very underused, under-talked about character because, like, Daredevil, like, he's just got that whole, like, he can hear stupidly good. Like, sure, like, as far as heroes go, that is almost an easy counter if you're equipped for it, but damn if this guy doesn't make it work.
Right. Absolutely. But I do like the idea of those glasses. I kind of want to bring them to like one of my own games, but have it first on like the boss that they have to fight.
Oh yeah.
And the boss is just wrecking everyone. And it's because he's got these glasses on.
That'd be great.
Blade, maybe use that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be so cool.
Well, the interesting thing here is they're actually part of a set of items. So the people making these has like, there's at least 2 or 3 others. So you would just put that all together and stack on one person. You got a critical machine, or spread it throughout the party. Everyone's just got generally better criticals.
Crit build.
Kind of like that. You can almost make like a whole campaign after collecting like these items.
Yeah, maybe these are like legendary items.
Optional to try to go get the items, and then when you fight the end boss, obviously if you've collected all of them, it's that much easier to beat them because you crit more often.
Yeah, that is
like
true.
that
That's
idea.
a very notable, strength up, where it's not like you're getting like an ability. It's just making yourself better. Like, I like that.
Yeah, it's simple, it's fun, flavorful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it definitely shows, like you could improve your character in a lot of different ways. Something simple like improving their crit ratio or giving them a strong weapon or good armor. You
Yeah.
can really do a lot with like, these kind of things.
Yeah, because I constantly pretty much just give people better armor or +1, +2 weapons as
Mhm.
rewards, but like something like improving crit or even just other feats.
Yeah.
Or
It'll be the more like past weapons that'll really be the valuable
yeah,
ones.
Absolutely. Like I could imagine like, oh, you have this thing and it only grants you like 1 extra foot of movement. Like if you had like a couple things like that can add up, or like maybe just small abilities
Mhm.
that can add up over time,
Yeah,
Like
you're gonna
if
really learn to appreciate them.
yeah,
Stack them up.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off there.
stacking points.
all
Yeah, I
right.
think it's about all we have for today.
Yeah, I think we covered everything pretty well. So is there anything that you guys kind of want to like homebrew wise, like a favorite homebrew that you have perhaps?
I have a homebrew that it's also an NPC that I try to bring in a lot of games.
Oh yes,
I'm
please.
highlighting one of my own homebrews that I've created. It's a genie's lamp.
Ooh,
Yeah, the genie is this NPC who actually made a deal with another genie, and he's trying to get out of his own deal. But he's very powerful like any genie, but he doesn't grant wishes. He allows you can call him out, and he helps you fight, helps you answer questions,
oh,
pretty much
right.
does things. But every time you use him, you have to roll a D10, and he takes that many years off your life.
Ooh,
So if you're
Ooh,
human, that's it's pretty risky.
I like that.
And so
that is good.
and once you attune to it, it's kind of like a cursed item. You can't unattune
Hmm.
to it. The
Right.
only way to get rid of it is someone has to willingly take it.
How does that like translate mechanically? Like stealing max health, or like a background thing of like the DM knows your lifespan?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a background thing right now. I don't have a good mechanic for it yet.
That's interesting. I like that. That's a very ominous like thing that you don't really
Yeah,
like remember all the time.
yeah,
Can't hear you again, Orion.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't say anything that time. Uh,
Look
I
like we were
think
talking.
that that's really good because like you could reasonably roll for how many for what your player's lifespan is,
Yeah.
you know?
That takes something into account of like, a lot of time you have a party of like, mainly humanoid creatures. You got humans and elves, who have fairly decent lifespans. You got people like dragonborns who live for a while. This item is like, oh, maybe it'd be more valuable if someone who has, exponential lifespan should take it.
Yeah.
Or like, what happens if you give it to somebody like a construct? That's interesting. I like it.
Takes years off their durability.
Yeah,
Just
they like slowly they start rusting. Like, oh man.
I like that idea a lot, actually. And it's one of those things where it very much is risk versus reward. And when it comes to that, like, you could totally just not mention the lifespan thing until after the attunement's already started. And it's just like, okay, this has weight now.
Yeah.
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 Feel it like
It's one of the items that I make it so you only get the full description once you're attuned.
right.
When
Once you like the
and if
genie like
you're
tells
attuned
you.
with it, it's not a short rest. It's if you rub the lamp.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the idea of what if anyone in the party could use it? And then the person who's attuned, they're the one that has to pay.
Getting the soul sucked.
That's an awesome idea.
Soul sucking genie.
The party does end up using it because, like I said, it's an NPC. So a lot of times, if they get stuck on something, they're like,
right.
Ask,
powerful genie.
like, ask him.
Feel free to suck me for a little bit of intel. sorry.
We promise we're professionals.
What would you do for Klondike Bar, Mr. Genie?
Oh, it's easier to list the things that you wouldn't do. Like, genocide's probably not on the table for a Klondike bar, but like, it depends on the size of the population.
What group are we targeting?
But yeah, so where can these fantastic listeners find you guys?
So they can find us on Twitter. We're at all the RPGs. Can come look at our site. We kind of have a landing page that kind of gives a overview of who we are, what we're making, and what we're trying to accomplish. And you can sign up, email, and you can even join our Discord where we put in dev updates. And a lot more of those are coming, which would be great. So yeah, I would say try to find us on Twitter or come visit our site. We're also on Blue Sky. We have a few followers there. You can just, same thing, look up at all the RPGs.
And one thing I want to highlight about our Discord is with those dev updates is we have several people in the community. They'll comment like, oh, I like this feature, or have you guys thought about this? And that's something that we're actively using to get the community engaged, to help refine things as we're building it. So not, as we come out with it, it's like, hopefully this is what you wanted. And it's, so if you have a voice and you want to, contribute and be a part of what we're building, join the Discord and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think there could be a lot of connection between, what we and our militia are trying to do and what you guys are trying to do. And we love to hear it, I think you were, providing what this community needs at a very desperate time, I think.
Yeah, we hope so. We really hope so.
Yeah, I'd say it's very critical at this point because we're having a bit of a cultural clash nowadays with all these different play styles, and like people don't know how to reconcile all of these. Like, this is the right way to play D&D. No, D&D is for everything in this way, but no, you cannot touch that subject in D&D. It's just
all the gatekeeping.
Well, doing this, you could reasonably gatekeep people into their own concentrations of communities.
Have them segregate themselves. That's the way you really do
it. Does remind. Have you guys seen the show Mythic Quest?
No, I think I've heard of it.
It's by some of the people that are in It's Always Sunny. It's Mac from It's Always Sunny. It's about these guys who make these group of people that made this RPG video game, and it was just about like their ins and outs of creating the game. And that's actually what they do. They had these group of people that were like ruining the game, so they slowly put them all on the same server.
Well, if you learned anything from this episode, guys, it's to go check out Mythic Quest and on all the RPGs.
So the moral of the story wasn't segregation's a solution?
It may be, but we're going to gloss past that.
Well, we'll see where things go as far as that. Like, is it the solution? Is it not? Let us know, please. We want to know. It'll be a very peaceful discussion, I'm sure.
Yes. And if you would like to, feel free to leave us a comment or a rating if you enjoyed this episode. Blah blah blah. You know who we are. Dungeons and Talk Shows.
We're nerds. What do we know?
We do know some things, I promise.
Approximately, probably. But hey, everybody have a great weekend. I can feel this weekend starting off pretty good. Been great to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
November. You guys enjoy Turkey Month.
Turkeys.
What do turkeys make? Gobble gobble?
Yep.
Yeah, and we are clear. That's great.